guardian of memory is a bit of a simplistic way and a bit of a perhaps megalomaniac way of talking about what I'm doing. No, but it's true that I'm trying to talk often in my work of things that might disappear or have perhaps already kind of disappeared, and I'm trying to bring them back to the forefront and to get them out there and to share them for the people who don't know those stories. Dressing up, making up, acting up, dancing and even singing. Humor and comedy. This is my world.
What I love about Zineb is that she begins with something quite simple, and then what she produces at the end is so unexpected and so magical in a way, and really invokes the magic of cinema about which she's passionate.
I found 2 big canisters of film in vintage shop in Algiers with a lot of bits of film in it, damaged mostly. And then the seller told me that those 2 canisters of film were given to him by a projectionist from the Cinematheque of Algiers, which was a very important hub of militantism and cinema of the global south of the time. I decided to kind of stitch them all together, scan them all, and put them all together and create a new film, so create my new story. So when I was doing some research in the archives in Algeria and in Paris, I looked at all the headlines in '69 around the Pan-African Festival, before, during, and after, how it was kind of publicized, if you want. And I was kind of quite taken back by the type of language used. You know, it was about brotherhood, it was about family, it was about resistance, it was about militantism, it was, you know. So by putting them in like boxes, somehow and giving them perhaps a bit more of an importance, I actually picked up sentences that came from people speaking, bits of sentences taken from various post-colonial texts, giving them the space that they ought to have had, you know, at the time, and unfortunately didn't. When I say dreams have no title, I'm saying dreams are free. They can't be boxed. They can't be put in a box and, you know, shaped into someone or someone else's ideas, you know. And the project and those films I've explored in Dreams Have No Titles were films were about utopia somehow, about a dream of getting rid of imperialism, dreams of getting rid of injustices, prejudices, racism, etc., etc.
Tous que le destin contraire a chassés de leur terre s'en retournent libres et fiers au pays retrouvé.
L'exil a blessé mon cœur et c'est bien fait pour moi. J'ai trop couru à la recherche des pays.
The film and the installation as a whole is such a powerful clarion call to the importance of culture as a form of resistance as well as a form of celebration.
So I'm working often with those dualities, the beauty and the ugly, or the joy and the sadness, or the politic or the poetic, you know. And I think this piece is very political somehow, but very poetical also, you know.
Zineb's lived and worked in Britain for 30 years, part of a multicultural community in Brixton, and it felt really, really important to bring this work, which is the most significant work she's made to date, for London audiences and indeed audiences throughout the UK to see.
The reason I've recreated my living room for the piece of work that was at the Jeu de Paume connected to the Pan-African Festival of 1969, the whole continent of Africa was invited to dance, sing, show films, act, you know, in plays, etc., etc. So basically there was this sharing amongst African countries. So my living room became a very interesting analogy for the festival, like a mini or micro festival of some sorts, where we watch films, where there was many debates, where we danced, where we ate food. So it became a convivial, like a space of sharing.
That sense of solidarity and friendship and taking joy in the everyday. And I think that's what really has touched so many people who've seen the work in Venice, and I hope will touch them when they see it here in London.
I realized that a lot of the things I was buying and collecting were 60s. For that decade, the world was on fire. Everyone, wherever you lived, whether it was in the global south or in the west, people were connecting and agreeing with each other or wanted the same thing. And that same thing, I think, was anti-capitalism, really, anti-imperialism. So I've kind of managed to include my collect of archival material that I take photographs of when I go to an archive, with my love for going to flea markets. I bought a lot of objects connected to the 60s, to Africa, to Pan-Africanism, to militantism if needs be, and I display them with the photo montage in the piece called For a Brief Moment, the World Was on Fire. It's a very new type of work that I've done, because in the past I was doing a lot of photographs. But the first time I do photo montage or collages with the added objects in front of the photo montages. So I'm kind of finding myself in a new kind of aesthetics, a way of working photography or images.
Dense et violente, comme un fleuve qui rompt sa digue et déferle en grondante marée.
Dance, dance, dance. Dancing to express yourself, no matter what. Just keep on dancing. Dance to the tempo of life.
From nobody else.